All right, this is an overview of the process of adding a UI element to ROE. Now, if you go into the ROE project folder under diagrams, you'll see this UI element addition overview, and it illustrates what is needed every time a UI element is added. So on the form, there's a UI element that is added, and then what corresponds with that is a part in the data schema that can hold that value. So inside, for example, this is going to our host feed form. So inside our host feed class, inside our data directory, we'd have a private value, a public property that operated on a private value, and then we'd have the private value declared in the construct children method. Now, on the form, we'd have our checkbox values loaded, unloaded, and then whenever our form is updated. So, in addition to that, the class behind the form needs to be updated, and inside our valids file, we'll have our business rules. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is go into our designer, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new checkbox from the existing checkboxes that we have. So just paste this, bring it down here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to properties. We're going to call it CHK Chem Tank Mount Kit and Step. Okay, and then we'll make the actual text Chem Tank Mounting Kit with Step. Okay, that should be that, and then we'll close this. Okay, so this one, let's do this. Okay, so this one goes 402, 368, 384. So this should be 402, this should be 400 then. It's by 16. So that'll make those aligned perfectly. Okay, so now we run the program and we will have a checkbox on the form. System, you can see it right here. Now, you notice if we hit OK, it's not actually saving anything because there's no data structure behind this checkbox. So let's go ahead and add that. So what we'll do is we'll go into our data host feed class, right? And then first thing we'll do is we'll add our private variable. So we'll call this selected. I'll call it what's good word for it? Chem Tank Mounting Kit with Step selected as data node. It's going to be Boolean. So add this. Oh, forgot our private statement. Okay. And can't spell it correctly. All right. So then go down here And we're going to need to initialize it. On our construct children method. So we'll put it right here. Equals new data node boolean, pass in me. Okay. So there's our. And then we also need property for it. So we'll put it underneath here. So we'll call this chem tank mount kit. And this is going to be called, this is the name of our private variable, so this was M. What was it? Chem tank, there we go. Value. This would be M. Chem tank mount.value. Okay. So, got our property, gets and sets, right? And we'll make this a little bit more descriptive. Do chem tank mount kit with step selected. Okay. Okay, so now that should give us our data in the data. So what we've done is we've added the physical checkbox. Now we've added the data for it to go. Now on the actual form, we also need to take the value from this checkbox and send it to our data structure. When the form is unloaded, then we'll need to take the value from our data and populate the checkbox when we need to load the data. So let's go into the host feed form and do that. So host feed form, view code. Okay. So go down to here. Right. So let's go right here. Let's put it right here underneath the others two. So okay. So this, what do we call it? Chem tank mount step equals dot chem tank. All right. So this is just putting it in there. And then want it to be oh, I forgot the dot checked. So determines whether it's checked or not. And then we'll go down here, and this is our unload data. So we just put in load. Now we're going to put in unload. I'm going to put it right here. It's going to say chem tank mount selected equals chk dot checked. All right. So that is saving it to the data on unload. And then also we need to make sure that when the form is updated that the appropriate values get selected. So let's go right here. I'll put it right here. We'll just do chk dot enable and address of tank mount kit. Okay. Do hose feed type option dot select option dot index. All right. So and that is just verifying that chemtank mount kit is okay, but it's red because we haven't written that method yet. So what we need to do is we need to go into our valids class, and that is regulated valids, right? So we need to create a function which validates whether or not that's okay. And this is where we put our business rules. So as you can see, it's right here. These are where our business rules go. So we'll do public function, call it chemtank mount kit okay as boolean, right? Okay. So it needs to take, we'll call this chemtank mount kit as boolean, and then by value we'll do the same thing. It's right here. Just copy that guy and put him right here. Okay. So now we need to put our business rules. So we know that this is only available, right, if our hose feed type is pivoting lateral. So what we'll do is we'll add type as equals param. So that's just taking 0 param. Okay. So we'll check. So if B chemtank mount kit, then we'll do if the hose feed type, right, is not equal to hose feed types dot pivoting lateral, then return false. Okay. And then else, and if, but we need to return true somewhere, so we'll return here, return true. Okay, so now we have our method, which validates whether or not it's okay, and as you can see on the form, that no longer becomes red. So you see we modified the form, modified the underlying dating structure, and we set our business rules and valids. Now the final step is in hose feed class, we need to validate it, and if it's not okay, we're going to add a warning. So if we go into hose feed class right here, so we know we're going to follow that same pattern that they have here. So if not, tank mount kit okay, right? Same thing, we're just calling then. Okay. So I think param is going to be chemtank selected, and then we need the hose feed type. That's what it takes. Okay, and then we'll just do quote warnings, add string language text, and we'll just call this SLT chemtank mount step. Okay, so this is what this will do. Quote. This will just add a warning to the warning, or the warnings object inside the quote. So now, let's build it. It'll take just a minute to load. it does. Come on, little guy. There we go. All right. So now we go into our beginning of system. You can see when we click pivoting lateral, then it becomes available for selection. Hit OK. Go back to beginning of system, and it's staying inside the data structure. So if you notice, when we click that, it disables the checkbox, which is being done inside the update form, right? So it appears that is all working. Pivot lateral, Kim talk this. Yeah. So that is how we add a UI element to ROE.